Okay, now I see why everybody's there laughing. That's where he went. That's where he went.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon. This is Bayloric Television. I'm not Bayloric because I'm much better looking, but apparently Bayloric has muted himself because we are now live.
We are live. We are live, and we are lively following the stunning ending to the Lomachenko versus Rigo fight tonight. Many of you, I'm sure, who are watching now have watched this fight, and we're here to talk about it. I am playing host, yours truly, Gail Falkenthal of Communities Digital News, on behalf of our friend Ingram setting up the feed, and with us are Eugene and Bo, our two original debaters. Back for another round, but there's no debate about what happened tonight. Gentlemen, weigh in. What did you see? What did you think?
Well, my guy lost, so I'm gonna let Eugene go first.
Yes, to the victor goes the first interview always. Go.
What I saw wasn't exactly a size disparity, more like it was more of activeness and game plan thing, because the thing about Rigo that I was more weirded about is the way he quit of injury on his left hand, then that he never threw in that fight, or next to never threw in that fight. And mostly when the injury could happen is when Lomachenko was pulling out of the holding. So I didn't see the fight happening that way. Meaning that I didn't see it ending that way, because I saw Rigo setting up more traps for him and whatnot. It didn't happen, which is a surprise for me. And I'm more curious of what exactly played on him. There was one point deducted. I'm not sure whether it was a psychological issue or more physical issue, but it's up to debate, I guess. So I would pitch it to Bo, who knows Rigo better, to tell what his thoughts are about Rigo and how he perceived that fight.
First off, hats off to Lomachenko. When you have a good corner, and of course his father worked his corner, they know exactly what to say to the ref to put on their mind. The very first thing they put on their ref's mind was the holding. He was in the back locker room. They kept that on his mind, was the holding. Here's the thing, and I said this when I was live. The volume punching, like Lomachenko actually surprised me because he used his jabs a lot more than he normally does. But it was just the work rate. Rigo never lost sight of him. He kept him in front of him, but he would not let his hands go because the work rate of Lomachenko was just overwhelming him. And the ref wouldn't let him hold. He couldn't get off the counters like he wanted to. And then he couldn't get this man's timing. Messing him up was the timing. The rhythm wasn't the issue, it was the timing. He couldn't catch Lomachenko's timing. And then shoot, he got over to the corner and was like, hey man, that's it. I don't want to suffer the embarrassment, which, excuse my language, it's a B-type move. It's unacceptable. He quit, it's unacceptable.
Now, what I would say is that Lomachenko, I didn't see anything particularly special of him in this fight. You know, he pretty much did exactly what he did in any other fight. He started slow, which is kind of like, I don't know, I guess throw 1 or 2 rounds just to figure out your opponent, and then started speeding up. And Rigo just kept going low. You know, when he was trying to reach to the body, he went low once, again and again. And Lomachenko was throwing punches at the head, and some of them landed on the back of the head. But again, it's up to Rigo to keep his head up. So I guess that's why referee didn't call them out. I wouldn't call the certain low blows, I wouldn't call them deliberate, because it seemed like he went so low that whatever body punch he would try to throw would end up hitting low. But it just at the work rate, it seemed not right to me. It seemed to me like Rigondeaux tried to catch him with a good left hand, and it just never landed. And the whole game plan went out of the window at that point.
Welcome to Michael's in the room.
Excellent. Welcome, Michael. Another one of our panelists tonight. We're sizing up the fight. We've asked our two debaters to size up what they saw. What did you see tonight?
Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around.
Boy, you and me both. I still hardly know what to say.
The hell?
The hell? Thank you. That kind of says it. The hell?
I mean, it's just a collective. The hell, given what we saw in the UK, given this Lomo Rigo fight, given the decision of what just went down with Farmer and Ogawa. I mean, what the hell? I got nothing. I got nothing.
I expect a complete coward like Chavez Jr. to quit on the stool. I did not expect Rigondeaux to quit on the stool. I just couldn't. And how the hell can you hurt your hand when you haven't thrown a punch? What, did Lomachenko step on it when he bent over? What? I really will have to review. Meanwhile, we've just finished the first round of the Salido-Roman fight, and they're at war. It's refreshing.
Man, the way the night has gone, don't be surprised if Salido loses.
Well, that would be fun. As long as it's entertaining. Yeah, no kidding. Like, he definitely won the first round. We'll see. Yeah, it's just a stunner. I think we are all processing is Lomachenko. So here's the question of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Is Lomachenko that good, or has Rigondeaux lost a step and it was simply a bad night for him?
Lomachenko's that good, Gail. I'm not giving Rigo no excuses.
No.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because same thing with Kovalov. I'm consistent on that. If you talk the kind of trash that Rigo was talking, doing the memes.
He did talk trash, no question.
Yeah, right. He doing the memes. He did the whole. He did the whole. Daddy, where you taking me? I'm taking you to school, son. You know what I'm saying? He did the. Yeah. He did the memes. He did. He did all of that. He talked trash. He was telling everybody. He even said no excuse. He was telling everybody, my career is on the line here, because we all know that if he lose tonight, he loses his 122-pound belt at 122. Okay, so. I'm not giving him none. I'm giving Lomachenko 400% credit. He was just that good, and he outfoxed the fox and won. That's it.
So while we're all sitting here stunned tonight by this outcome, a lot of us thought Lomachenko would win, but we didn't think it'd happen like this. So since we're all babbling idiots over this, one thing we can talk about is what the hell happens to both guys going forward. Let's talk about Rigo first. He says, I'm going to come back. What's he coming back to? What should he do? What do you think he'll do? And what should he do? Bo.
You said, what should he do?
There's two separate questions. What should he do? And what do you think he will do? Sometimes they're the same thing. Sometimes they're not the same thing.
Probably what Rigo should do right now is he should hang him up. He should hang him up. I revert back to the Vitaly Klitschko that quit on the stool against Chris Berg. But the problem was he was not 38 years old. So he had time to rebuild his career. boxing is very cruel to a guy when you quit, especially a guy who they're not kind to anyway, which is Rigo. Boxing is, you know, they kind of want his style of fighting isn't likable. His style of fighting doesn't generate a lot of money, a lot of people. So now you quit on the stool, or yeah, you quit on the stool. That's just gonna make people not want to fight you even more because they're gonna say, "Why would I fight that dude? He quit." Even the guys that we know he can beat if he fights them, but they're gonna be like, "Why should I fight this guy? He quit." And then he would have to try to fight his way back to get his belt back. And at 38 years old, and then you quit in the ring, I don't know where your mental state is right now, because what this fight tells me is when things get rough for you, when it's not going your way, or it's not, or you can't get it to go your way, you're liable to do. Once a quitter, always a quitter. I'm sorry. When you quit one time, you quit again. So
well, it sure becomes easier again, doesn't it?
yeah.
And you're right, because we know who put the butts in the seats tonight at the Garden, and it wasn't Rigo. It wasn't Rigo. Exactly. So there was comments throughout the day about the disparity in the purses. Rigo got considerably less money than Lomachenko, but the fact is, he's a tough sell. He's a tough sell for a fight. It was his dance partner that made it so interesting to people, which is exactly why he was willing to come up 2 weight classes to try to notch that victory. So is he marketable anywhere?
No, Gail.
Nowhere. Not even in Mexico, Latin America. Nowhere.
Gail,
no one wants to see him. Wow.
He quit. Wow. Gail. Nobody wants to see.
Wow.
You quit. So no. But you know what? I'll put it to you like this, Gail. I don't want to see it because you do not do what he. At least Kovalev went out on his shield, even though he complained about low blows. But at least he went down in a knockout. You quit.
Well, no question. He did do that.
Huh?
Yeah. Kovalev did go out on his shield, and has since, in many ways, owned it. Which that's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Bo, I have a question to ask you.
Go ahead, man.
Question I've got to ask you is this. The fact that he's quit on his stool, and then tonight was an opportunity for Rigondeaux to really make a statement. He had an opportunity to prove to the fans that, look, hey, I can be exciting, I can be entertaining. He had an opportunity to grab the fans, to turn the fans around. He didn't take that opportunity. He quit on his stool, and what made it worse was his post-fight press, his interview. You know, he turned around and said that, you know, he didn't think that Lomachenko was great. At first, he said he was ordinary, he was okay. Then he turned around and said afterwards, yeah, when he was getting booed, then he went, yeah, he's an excellent fighter. What were your thoughts about the post-fight interview with Rigondeaux?
I didn't see the post-fight interview. I didn't. And I normally don't even, be honest with you, I don't really watch post-fight interviews. But if that's what he said, see, it's a bad look, period. If that's what you say. When you quit, the only thing you can say is, hey, man, congratulations to the guy that kicked my ass.
Yeah, you were the better man tonight is the only possible thing you can say.
Right.
Here's exactly what he said, because I've got it. He said, I lost because it was my hand. In the second round, I injured the top of my hand and I could no longer continue. And then he was asked about Lomachenko. He's a very technical fighter. He's normal, though. But he's quick. He's explosive. And then Rigondeaux said, I'll fight against anybody because there's no excuses. Lomachenko really wasn't doing anything. It wasn't about the weight. It was just the hand, and I couldn't continue. And that's when boos rained down on him, and he added, I do give Vasyl Lomachenko credit, though he is an excellent boxer.
Yeah, the boos rained down on him.
And then he said, I will come back.
Can I ask this thing? Rigondeaux most to never throw his left hand, maybe once or twice in a fight. The question is, when he was holding and Lomachenko was pulling his hands out, is that when the injury happened?
when they were pulled apart, in other words.
Mm-hmm.
When the referee pulled them apart. And that, are you talking about the clinch in which Lomachenko then immediately fired off a shot, sort of caught Rigo by surprise?
No, I don't mean a shot, because he never aims his shots at his hand. What I mean is that Rigo tries to hold his hands by his armpits, right? And now Lomachenko wrestles him, right?
Yes.
And pulling his muscle.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Well, that's certainly good a theory as any, truly, because it's hard to figure out where he could have possibly injured it from a punch. I mean,
we need something to find out what the hell was going on.
It sounds, you know, sort of snarky to say he couldn't have injured it with a punch because he didn't punch, but honestly, it's the truth. It's hard to figure out where he could have punched it hard enough against anything to hurt it.
we need something to find out what was going on.
I think the bigger question is, should we care? That's the big
well, not now. I think we do want to know legitimately why he quit, but the fact is he quit.
Yeah.
Miguel Cotto fought 6 rounds with a torn bicep.
Yeah.
He didn't complain, he didn't bitch, and he didn't quit. And I got to imagine that was painful. It looked horrible.
Look,
but that's what a champion does.
We can talk about Deontay Wilder. He broke his hand in the Chris Arreola fight.
Right. And we've seen many fighters do that. And, you know, if you recall the comment from Kelly Pavlik, well, that's why you have 2 hands.
Right.
So
I actually
I'm just saying Salido got knocked down.
Oh yes, he did.
But
yes,
it's actually what else is new?
No,
Salido just dropped
fourth round with a minute to go.
Yeah, he's knocked down and he's cut.
Yeah, he's not looking too great. We got Robert Byrd in the ring. Ramon is taking it to him, and Ramon's gone to the body a lot in this fight, as I've been watching.
All right. The question to Bo is, how do you feel? Like, I know this subject is really not interesting, but I felt kind of dirty when I read about Rigondeaux having 400K versus Lomachenko having 1.2 million, because it just didn't seem fair. You know, it's the guy is having such a challenge. He's moving up, and you're paying him what you would pay to any guy out of his stable, right? He could fight a guy out of top rank.
I'm sorry. What's your understanding of the purse amount?
Well, Rigondeaux receives 400K.
I believe it was a bit more than that.
No, it was more than that. Yeah, Dan Raphael said it was 400K, but he also said those aren't exact numbers. But it was more than that.
So it's like 400 guaranteed, and then there's plus whatever the hell. Because when I read it, it was 400 guaranteed, and that's the whole story about it. And then it's also sponsorship and whatever adds up.
I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that Rock Nation dropped him.
Well,
that would be just
Rock Nation's been losing a lot of money on boxing, so
yeah,
any excuse they've got to cut them loose.
I said to fighter the other day. I said to a fighter that was considering joining Rock Nation. I said to them, swerve Rock Nation like a plague.
Yeah. So, and then I don't know if you guys heard, Kirby had tried to sue Rock Nation prior to the fight, but the case got thrown out in New York. I wrote an article about that. Kirby tried to.
By the way, Bo, that's a Cuba Libre, okay?
Huh?
That's a Cuba Libre.
So what are you mixing that with, man?
in terms of
I mean, it's a Cuba Libre. I said it. It's
Okay.
Rome plus lime juice plus Coca-Cola and whatever.
He's celebrating.
He is celebrating big time.
So now we've got. So we've talked a little about Rigo having no future, essentially none. Your answer is, what's his future? None. What's the future for Lomachenko? What do you want to see him do? He says, I'm going to take a month off. I'm right back in the gym. We'll see what happens next.
I would actually like to see Lomachenko try to do a unification fight. I would like to see, like, that's the only thing that's lacking for him, is because most top ranked guys, with the exception of Terrence Crawford, they all only get one belt, and that's that WBO belt. They suddenly rarely ever unify. I know Timothy Sadly.
Sadly.
I'm gonna bite my tongue. I ain't got room to talk.
Well, you may want to throw that sad label to Teddy Atlas the way Stephen A. Smith was talking down to him tonight.
Oh man, yes. But Timothy at 140, I know he unified, but he never did it at 147. So I would like to see Lomachenko go for a unification fight. Some people are going to, and I know Bob said something about him going to 135, and I just don't like this pace that they're setting for Lomachenko, because when you start taking him up, because 135, you got dudes like Shakakov,
Shafikov lost tonight.
No, Shafikov
he lost tonight.
He was fighting at 130.
Oh wow! Yeah, he lost.
Oh, okay. Shakakov fought tonight?
Yeah, and he fought. He lost by decision.
He lost. Yeah.
By decision. But what I'm saying
is, Alvarado beat him. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a guy who's a dog, though. He's a dog. He is
a dog. He's the ultimate gatekeeper. Fascinating. Right.
That's what I'm saying. So you got Shakakov that would make up for this fight we saw, because he's a dog. Okay, he comes at you. You got Robert Easton Jr. with his long arms. Richard Comey, who fought. These are guys. Well, Richard Comey probably fights like a taller man more than Robert Easton Jr. So I'm just saying, like, I just really think they're kind of like unified 130 before you go looking at 135. Because after 135, what's next? 140, and that's when you can see Vasily being in some serious mismatches and start taking some big L's.
And we're getting a typical Salido fight. It's complete war.
The Shafikov
bout, and he's still completely in it.
The Shafikov bout will be on HBO Latino at the conclusion of this main event, for those who get HBO Latino.
And of course, our friends on YouTube, I'm sure, will offer
it. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah. So let's talk. All right. So we got Lomachenko to unify. I think that is an extremely worthy quest, because if you're talking about positioning yourself as top of the pound for pound list, you look around at your competition. Clearly, his competition right now for the top of the pound for pound list, his main competition in my mind, is Terrence Crawford. What did Terrence Crawford just achieve for the first time in many, many years? A rare feat, a unification.
Yep.
I think Lomachenko would do well to follow in Crawford's example.
I agree.
Gail, we've got a load of people talking in the room. Loads of comments from
but let's hear a few. Let's hear a few.
Do you want me to read the comments, or do you want to read the comments? It's up to you.
I'm gonna have to. I don't have the feed up, so I'm gonna have to take a look here.
Okay.
Take a look.
All right, I'll take a look.
In fact, I don't have the link. Send me the link, and let's take a look and answer some of those.
I'm looking at one. I'm looking at them.
Yep.
Okay, Bo, do you want to read them out? You read them out.
Yeah, you read them out.
Fingers crossed Gervonta Davis gets back. Somebody say Lomo was school Easter easy.
Okay.
Is that height and reach advantage? I don't know.
Bo, you have to go up to the top of the page. There's loads of people saying loads of things.
Okay, let me go back to the top.
Right, go right to the top, because we've got loads of people in the room.
This is going to be
intense. I do see that. Now I'm on the feed as well to see this.
Eugenia's going to destroy Bo.
Loma's jab was the key. Well, it's always the starting point, but it was the jab, it was the footwork, it was the incredible movement around the ring, and the ability to find Rigondeaux, to land punches on him, which is something most of his opponents have found extremely difficult.
Yeah, because most opponents, when they miss Rigo, they don't like Lomachenko was doubling up on jabs, hooks, whatever he threw, he doubled up on it, because you would probably miss Rigo with the first one, or maybe even the second one, but you would he threw a double uppercut, triple uppercut, missed the first two, but the third one landed. And that's what he did so beautifully. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I tell people, listen, the pivots that Rigo was doing was working. The problem was Lomachenko's work rate is what was killing Rigo. He never gave Rigo a chance to let his hands go to counter him.
Right. That's true. Right. And so you see a total punches landed of 55 for Loma and 15 for Rigo.
Yep.
What else I would say is that whatever is lost in translation is whenever Lomachenko would get back to his corner, the main message that his father would have to him, which is his trainer, of course, to whoever doesn't know that his father trains him, is stretch him out, make him, go down and reach for you, for the body, make him go forward. And you would see that after round 3, Rigondeaux's stance was really, really wide. He wasn't able to utilize his movement in the ring. He was always stretching for Lomachenko's body. And that's when Lomachenko was able to counter him with the landing good combinations to the head. So that was their method, like execution for the fight, because it seemed like Rigo was reaching and never landing at the same time. Well, never is a strong word, but again, landing not successfully. And Lomachenko would be capitalizing on that and getting on the inside and landing a few shots. Some of them were borderline behind the head. But again, it's up to Rigondeaux to keep his head up and protect him at all times. So, kind of.
Let's read a few comments here. I
think one other thing that needs to be pointed out was there was a moment that I knew that Loma got into Rigo's head was at the end of I forget what round, but at the end of it, Rigo went to turn and snatch away, and Loma threw a little punch at him. And
that was the end of the 5th round.
Yes. Yep, and he threw a little punch and smiled at Rigo. And Rigo tried to throw a punch back, but it was at that moment I knew. I said, yo, he's in this man's head. He's in his head.
All right, in the live chat portion here, Mikey is pissed. Mikey says he's pissed in the room. Rigo versus Walters at catchweight. I quit match. Rigo quit. His stock fell significantly, and other champions now have an excuse not to fight him. There's no reason Rigo should continue. Leave the sport. Your image is tarnished forever. And in a second comment, Rigo has let his fans down, and he's let his country down. Wow. It was a shocking performance. He looked lost and packed it in when he couldn't figure out the puzzle.
Man, that dude is harsher than you, Bank Jr. was at DeGale earlier.
Steven Smith fought tonight with half an ear hanging off. The guy was upset when it was stopped. That's true. That is true. I mean, more people, and here's what's astonishing if you think about it. Talking about the general population of people watching boxing tonight, more people are going to remember that Steven Smith kept going with his ear practically hanging off his head than are going to remember Rigo. That is gonna fade as a distant memory.
I agree.
Other than the issue of him quitting, no one's going to have any mental picture of that performance, but they will remember Steven Smith, even though he lost.
I have a question for the whole panel, and the question is this: will people remember the career of Rigondeaux, his whole professional career, or will they just remember this last fight against Lomachenko?
Sadly, people will remember the last fight. People will remember the last fight, sadly.
They'll remember the last fight. Because, here's the thing with Rigo. If after beating Nonito Donaire, Rigo could have got Frampton and Leo Santa Cruz, right? Then people probably would say, okay, he fought Donaire, he fought Frampton, he fought Santa Cruz, and he went up 2 weight divisions, tested his luck, and lost to Lomachenko. He would be okay because think Kell Brook, who went up for Golovkin but still was able to come back down and fight
Spence,
and he can still, and he's trying to fight again at 154. So he would have been okay if he would have got those other names on. He fought Donaire, and there was this low moment of nothing in competition between then and now.
Yeah. Well, and he went 2 years and fought 3 rounds.
Yeah.
2 years and fought 3 rounds. That's more rounds than he fought tonight, however.
Yeah. That's kind of significance of when Mike Tyson faced Evander Holyfield. And they said Mike last like 3 fights before Holyfield, he only went a total of like 1 or 2 rounds.
Yeah, and it's not good. That's a long time to be inactive, especially at his age. You know, it does nothing for you. It's always damaging.
The next question I've got to ask is, are there any parallels between the inactivity of Rigondeaux and his age and Luis Ortiz and his age? And inactivity and lack of opposition? Bo.
Man, come on, man. I'm gonna leave that. Come on, man. I'm not finna answer that.
Listen, if his wife's performance wasn't saying anything about his age, performance thing, even think about this. Right now, I'm looking at my Twitter, and 3 minutes ago, the president of Ukraine just posted the thing about Lomachenko winning. There's just more acceptance, you know, and more support to the guy. Where Rigondeaux has been having a good career so far, but many people just didn't give him props about it. And even with this fight, many people will say, well, Rigondeaux was old, he was lighter, he was moving 2 divisions up, so this win doesn't mean anything. So
see, I disagree with that because
you do, but the casual fans won't.
But see, when he beat Nonito Donaire, he was on top of the world. He was bumped up to number 3 pound for pound, and he was on top of the world. Right now, he had took 2 fights overseas that was great fights. When he fought Amagaj, he got knocked down twice. Okay, busted him up, and another guy. Then his first reappearance on national television, which was on the Cotto Carnello fight, it was a stinker. He really stunk the damn joint up. He did. Then he fought at Becco. Now it's not his fault.
Oh, down goes Salido again.
Then it was not.
God damn it.
Then it was not his fault. But in the he had another fight. What was fight with that? Then the Jazz Addiction fight.
I think Salido's done.
He went down
He's
again,
up.
heavy and hard.
Man, Salido is a tough bastard, I'll tell you what.
Whoa.
But Ramon's got a minute to finish him off. We're all, folks watching the chat, we're all talking about the earlier fight, but we've got the final main event out of Las Vegas at the Mandalay Bay. Where we have
I just want to
Daniel Roman going to town here.
Oh, this fight is about to be stopped.
Robert Bird's looking at him pretty carefully, but when you've got a guy like Salido who's just like a cat with 9 lives, Bird is letting this go farther than he would for nearly any other fighter. If that wasn't Siri Salido standing there, he would have
Coming back though. He's coming back though, Salido.
Well, that's the thing. He never dies. He's a zombie. And there he goes.
Well,
and
actually,
he landed a good left hook to Roman, who's laughing at him, but
if Lomachenko fight versus Salido went 15 rounds, Lomachenko would win.
Contrast this with Rigo. Contrast this with Rigo. Yeah, that's it. Well, and is he going to quit?
Yeah.
You know, Salido has every right to say, man, I'm an old man. I'm done. I've had 60 fights. I'm done.
You know what, Gail? I'm glad you said that because I respect it. Now, for Lando Salido, a guy who has been through tremendous wars, if he's like, look, that was it for me, I gave it all I had in that last round, I got no problem with that. You've been through the wars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You earned the right to be like, you know what, this is, nope, I'm not doing this no more.
No.
I'm actually cool with that.
Yeah, no one would ever question a decision by Salido to say, you know, I'm done. But
because Rigo's quitting to me is worse than Nicholas Walters, because at least Walters was getting beat up. I didn't see what Rigo was getting beat up.
See, that's my thing, Bo. That's my thing. I was on another show, and the question was, how sensational Lomachenko looked, and I'm like, okay, but Rigo from round 2 on, he didn't do a damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
He did nothing. So while I want to give Lomachenko credit for what he did, my disappointment is where was the fight from Rigo? Where was it?
Man.
yeah, it's amazing to think that after 1 or 2 or 3 rounds that Rigondeaux was that demoralized that he just gave up.
Can somebody explain to me what the game plan for Rigondeaux was? Bo, Mike, Gail?
Is that a trick? Is that a trick question?
No, seriously,
Tell you what the game plan was.
As soon as someone give me an explanation of the game plan for DeGale earlier today.
Oh, there you go.
How about that?
The fight? Did I not tell you that I thought he was in the serious decline? I did say, I did a video on it.
I mean, how about that?
Maybe the trainers swap notes.
Well, perhaps they watched the earlier fight. It was confusing to them.
Well, what's the game plan?
Oh, this fight is over. They just stopped it. He went down again. The fight is over, y'all.
Yeah. My feed is delayed from you, apparently. Yeah, Bird stopped it.
Yeah, fight is
For
over.
Robert Bird to stop it. Yeah. That's a good call. Because Salido would die in the ring before he quit. He's one of those guys. Just tough. And here's a guy with 13 losses who could still put people in their seats. That's the difference. That's the difference.
But the question is, Bo, do you have questions about Lomachenko at 130? Not at 135, not at 140, at 130. And would you say that the next best thing for him would be Burchelt out of any other champion, the IBF, whoever the hell won that?
I'd love to see that fight. Love to see it. Burchelt would give him an opponent who would engage. So it would certainly be entertaining. If that fight is done in Southern California, that's a huge draw. They could absolutely fill the forum with that fight.
Pressing on him, working to the body. You know, Burchelt is a good opponent for Lomachenko, and he's the guy who's going to teach us whether Lomachenko learned his lessons from his fight with Salido or didn't.
Right.
And,
exactly.
Outside of him, IBF champion, WBA champion. I think WBA just got grabbed because he got a lucky punch against, what was it? I don't remember the name of the guy already. He got silver.
Corrales,
yeah.
Right. No, he kills Corrales.
He knocked out Corrales, and the whole thing is... Yeah, he has WBA super featherweight belt. So I don't think that technically he's sound enough, and I would say he wouldn't catch Lomachenko. I don't know whether he would go to fight him already, at the same point, or maybe he would have 1 or 2 defenses just to grab someone.
The Mikey Garcia fight. Why doesn't he go and fight Mikey Garcia?
Well, see, Lomachenko doesn't have too many options to move after 135. So if he moves to 135 at this point, it would probably be for vacant WBO title. Tell me I'm
And you
wrong.
got to, and you got to keep in mind, Ingram. There's still beef there with Well, no. You're right. Never mind. I was thinking of something else, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a fight between Mikey Garcia and Lomachenko. That's a fight that
Well,
people.
no. My original thought was right. There's still beef there with Mikey Garcia and Aram. So
Yeah. No, and it does make sense just from a achievement point of view for Lomachenko to clean this division out, and then he can move around. And really, Burchelt does make an enormous amount of sense. I think he'd crush Corrales at this point, absolutely crush him. Honestly, as strange as this sounds, it isn't a unification fight, but I'd love to see him fighting Castellanos just because that man is so wild. It'd be a crazy good fight. I mean, it's certainly not for any real achievement, other than putting a fight together. And you had Ogawa win tonight again. There's an opponent for you, possibility.
People are saying Lomachenko's fought too many poor opponents, and it's time for him to step up and fight some proper opponents. Mikey Garcia would be one of them, and excuses need to stop. Mikey Garcia and Lomachenko need to fight.
Shut the fuck up, you bloody cunt.
That's just ignorant. Yeah.
It's just who he didn't fight at his weight. Everybody who throws a bone at his side, he fights, right?
Right. And he has made it very clear he fights who his manager tells him to fight.
Well, that's what people are saying in the comment section. One in particular.
Yeah, I do see.
He's fought decent amount of guys, but still, I would still love to see him, Mikey Garcia, or Linares at 35.
Oh, Linares! Wow, I'd love to see Linares against Lomachenko. I think that's a great fight.
I think Lomachenko beats him fairly easily. The only thing that Linares has on his side is speed, but I think Lomachenko negates that.
Well, if
Lomachenko beats him, and then after Lomachenko beats him, goes and fights Mikey Garcia, that's a great fight. Those are two great fights there.
Yeah. I think Lomachenko legitimately can have be a bit of a layup fight next. Get him back in the ring, get him back in front of people, which is important. Being busy is important. Give him a Corrales, Castellanos type of fight. Oh, you know who else also just won a fight?
Who?
Bo. Do you think Lomachenko would like to fight another Cuban?
Bo's gone quiet.
Gamboa.
I mean, listen.
Gamboa just had a win.
He's distraught as it is. He's distraught enough as it is.
I'm sorry, I had to say it.
He's distraught enough as it is. You're gonna have him drinking. You're gonna have him drinking liquor on air. If you keep going like this, Gail.
Yeah, I think so.
Listen, I'm doing it right here, okay?
I don't want to drive a man to drink.
No
I really
reason
don't.
for him to
Bo's
run
quit as
away.
well tonight.
Yeah. Well, I believe Eugene's enjoying a Cuba Libre right now.
Yep, it's like the third one. Up to like 6 shots.
Oh my goodness, gentlemen! I'm going to leave the rest of the chat to you because I've got a column to finish writing. So I leave you to it. I will listen with interest.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, carry on.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Mike, your thoughts on the whole evening? Let's go back on the evening of it. Let's reel back. Let's go back to James DeGale's performance against Caleb Truax. Caleb Truax put it together, and James DeGale did absolutely nothing in the fight.
I'll give that, and then I'll ask a question here, because I've been on multiple channels, multiple shows, basically all day long. The night of upset started with this bout. I just like I came on confused about Rigo. I I started the night confused about, excuse me, about um, James DeGale and what he was doing in there. What was supposed to be a showcase bout to give him an opportunity to shine, he flopped. He dud. Um, I don't understand this bad habit of him languishing on the ropes. Um, maybe the shoulder was an issue with him. Maybe he hadn't fully recovered from that Bowdu Jack bout. Uh, I strategy. I don't know. Maybe all of the above. All I do know is that the way he fought, um, I just don't get. He should not. If he's the fighter that he claims himself to be, you don't let this guy, essentially a middleweight who doesn't have a lot of pop, um, come to your house and not just beat you, but beat up on you like this. He needs to have a serious come to Jesus meeting with himself, a deconstruction and a reconstruction to his career, because it's not just the physical for me, but the approach that he has is um, something's awry with that. Uh, but the question I have for you guys here is, got into a big tizzy about this on some other channels. With this win, does this now make Truax the number one guy, essentially the man at super middleweight?
No, doesn't. I don't.
Bo, Eugene?
It seems like Bo's out.
Bo's showing
Because
shape.
I got into a big dust up about this, and my argument is that uh, they argue that DeGale was perceived as the man, the best in this in
He
the
was.
division, in super middleweight, and
Mm.
just because Truax beat him, that automatically makes him the man. Essentially, because he beats the man, that automatically makes him the man, the number one guy in the division.
Well,
I say no because yes, he got the win, and I don't want to take anything away from him. And comparing him to all the other fighters, I can't definitively say he's the man because I'm not sure I would pick him. Um, I can't say that he would be the favorite um, in comparing him to all the other fighters. I think there's questions, so I just want to ask you guys that question here.
first and
With
foremost,
Eubank Jr. would do a number on Truax, and so would George Groves. To be honest with you, it was a case of James DeGale doing nothing and Truax being allowed to beat up on him. Let's be honest. DeGale showed very little resistance to Truax, and you've seen previously in Truax's career those who've showed resistance to Truax, they've been able to turn around and stop him. Jacobs did it, and Durrell's done it. But fair play to Truax tonight. He put it all together. Hard work, dedication, put it together, and he was there at the right place at the right time. And he was able to capitalize on James DeGale doing nothing, which is what James DeGale basically did. Laid on the ropes, threw very little punches, and allowed Truax to jump all over him. I guess, Eubank Jr. would have beaten DeGale that night. George Groves probably would have poleaxed him, fighting like that. So the best super middleweights, Benavidez, I think, would have beaten DeGale tonight. So DeGale is a shot fighter. DeGale, to me, is a fighter that's seen better days and a fighter that's been in decline. And I think the Badu Jack fight took a lot out of him. He got beat up by Badu Jack. He got beat up by Medina. He had a hard fight against Bwtm. He's had constant injuries. So I don't think there's much of James DeGale left. And in terms of him reconstructing his career, I don't think it makes a difference. The guy's been beat up. He's had a lot of injuries. And I think he's a shot fighter now. And you're seeing it now. He couldn't pull the trigger. He couldn't do anything. And it's not like DeGale hasn't fought like that at his best. At his best, he was still sitting on the ropes against Bwtm and all the other fighters. So I don't see what DeGale can do any better now. I just can't do it. I can't see it. I think DeGale's taken a lot of punishment, and to me, he's finished.
Same question to you, Eugene, and Bo, if you're around. Does this win by Truax because he beat DeGale, does that automatically make him, by default, by proxy, the #1 guy in Super middleweight? I say no, but I've been in debates all day long where people say, no, I'm wrong. Your thoughts?
I would say that first of all, 168 is not my depth. It's not my weight class because, well, sorry, there are no Ukrainians that weight, and I haven't got my lesson about it yet. So I didn't watch the fight to say whatever the hell was wrong with the DeGale. So if Bo has something to say, I would gladly pass on to him.
What was the question? Go ahead. I'm here. I'm back.
I've been in debates all day where the argument has been, in the aftermath of this win by Truax over DeGale, that because he beat DeGale, that automatically makes him #1 at super middleweight, rank him #1 at super middleweight. I tend to disagree because, one, you just don't, in my opinion, you just don't do that after one win, and two, if you compare Truax to the rest of the fighters in that division, there's too many questions to just automatically place him there. So your thoughts on that? If with this win, with this upset, does that automatically mean that you should rank Caleb Truax #1 at super middleweight?
No, not at all. Because James DeGale, although he won the belt, but James, a lot of people felt like James DeGale had already lost to Bondu Jack. So no, and then listen, James DeGale. I mean, if you look at a lot of his fights, even if you go before Bondu Jack, James DeGale fought. Who was that he fought before Bondu Jack?
Medina?
Yeah, Medina. That was a tough fight. James DeGale's a front runner. He's a front runner. But the second half of the fight, and I said it all about it, I said, man, he'll let you back in this fight. So no, I don't think Caleb should be planted #1 in super middleweight because he just beat James DeGale. Because I mean, if we're being honest about James DeGale, there's at least 2 fights you can say that he probably lost, which is Medina and Bondu Jack.
Any other questions you was asking about, Ingram?
Anthony Yard. Did you see the performance of Anthony Yard tonight?
Yeah, I saw most of that bout. Strong dude. Can really hit. I want to okay, like Stevenson, like what's the other guy who fought on the on the Rigo card, the Olympian
Stevenson,
other than Stevenson,
Conlon.
He's in there with competition right now. He's so superior to that. I for me, I can't get the greatest read on him. I would like to see him show up some things defensively, Yard, also tighten up some things from a technical standpoint. But he's doing what he has to do. He's disposing these guys rather easily. I can't get a real read until he faces someone who challenges him. But given his physicality, given his strength, the potential is there. One of my fears is, like Anthony Joshua, he's really muscular. He has that really muscular kind of football build, and I wonder if he's in a fight where he has to go some distance. What is his stamina?
That'd be interesting.
That's a good question. The guy who fought tonight was a step up, a huge step up for him, I thought. That guy had never been stopped. He drew against Robert Stieglitz for the European title. No, never been stopped in his career. He's fought big punches like Callum Smith.
Okay, that I didn't know. I didn't know much about the opponent he fought. So
yeah, it was a step up. And Yard has not had many amateur bouts. I think he's had about 9-10 amateur bouts. So he didn't have a decorated amateur career. So from a amateur career like that, then to turn pro and to be ranked in the top 10 of the world, that's pretty good. It's a good performance tonight from Yard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a guy that's never been stopped before. That was the first time he'd been stopped and manhandled like that. And he got manhandled.
Okay.
And so, you know, that was a good performance from him based on where Yard's been. He's not an Olympic champion or... What did you think of Daniel Dubois tonight, by the way?
I like his potential. I think he has a chance to do some things in the heavyweight division. Still needs to be a level of maturity. I think he's only, what, 21, 22, something like that, maybe even 20. But I like what I see in terms of his potential. If he keeps progressing, dare I say, I could see him possibly winning a world title. That's how highly I think of him.
I know people are trying to rush him at the moment, but I wouldn't rush him at all. I'd take the time with him.
Yeah, he needs to mature some from a mental standpoint and still improve on his technique. But I like what I see from him. I think he can go. I think he can do some serious things. He can do cause some serious damage.
I'd like to see him fight the guy that David Price fought next, Sokolowski.
Ah,
We know Sokolowski takes a good shot. He goes the distance. Sokolowski doesn't get stopped often. Price hit with his best shots and couldn't get rid of him. I think that's a great fight next for Dubois.
just thinking in my brain real quickly. Yeah, that's a good bout for him. That would be a good bout for him.
Yeah,
You know, man, it's been a year for me, man. I've did the one I had. I picked Thurman to beat Mikey. I picked Thurman to beat Danny. I picked Mikey to beat Broner. I picked AJ to beat Vlad. I picked Andre to beat Kovalov, and the only one I got wrong was this one. I picked no, my bad. I had Spence to beat Brooke. This was the only one I got upside down.
Well, no, Quadras and Estrada.
Welcome to the Matrix.
Mike, get off the podcast. Hey, get rid of Mike.
By the way, a question to ask you, Bo.
Yeah.
Can we change your title that you've got at the moment from taking the U and the N off and just keep the rest of it for your championship?
You about undisputed?
No, disputed champion.
No. I'm undisputed. I'm stop.
Wow.
Oh, stop. I'm undisputed, bro. Right?
No, you ain't undisputed, man. You're disputed because everyone's disputing you now.
They can dispute what they want because I made a bad. See, the problem is when you don't show no cheat in your armor, you appear to be invincible, and you show one moment, everybody come out like packs of wolves. But here's the thing, okay? Like most big dog king wolves, I'm here to take it, not hiding. I'm here, and I've offered my fighter 0 fucking excuses, no conspiracy theories, no beliefs, nothing. I offered him nothing. I did my fighter like I did Kovalov, like I did Edizani Lotto.
Okay, fair enough.
And after the fight, for those who don't know, Salido basically said that's it for him. He's calling it a day.
Well
He's
done.
retiring.
Well done.
I think that I hate that because Orlando Salido pulled a Juan Manuel Marquez, which is they offered Marquez all kind of money to rematch Pacquiao. He said, "Nope, I want to end my career knowing that I knocked you out." And that's the same thing Salido did. He's like, "Nope, I'm not." They offered him $700,000. He turned it down because he wants to be the guy that's known as I'm the one guy that beat you.
Very nice.
And,
That's very nice.
And you know what's crazy about that is that fight actually helped Lomachenko because if Rigo would have fought him 2 years ago, he probably would have won 2 years ago. But that Salido fight, that changed everything for Lomachenko.
Yeah,
I said it in our debate that
shut
lost. You shut up, because I said it. That lost fight changed 15 wins for Lomachenko. That one loss changed 15 wins.
Yeah.
Final thing for the night, guys. Thoughts on the next weekend's bout between Billy Joe Saunders and David Lemieux. Eugene first.
A little bit towards Saunders, but again, it can go either way. So I'm going with Saunders, just
Mike?
a little bit.
I'm going with Saunders. He's a better boxer. He was a bit of a one-trick pony. Assuming he doesn't get caught with anything stupid, Saunders should win, but by decision.
Bo?
The smart pick is Saunders, because I believe that Saunders. The one thing about Lemieux is you can outbox Lemieux, and I think Saunders does have a good jab. He might not have a Gennady Golovkin jab, but he does have a good jab. He does have good boxing skills, so you can outbox David Lemieux. So yeah, I mean, smart pick is Saunders, but I will not lie. I won't say. I'm hoping Lemieux knock his fucking block off.
Oh dear. Okay. I'm a Billy. I like Billy Joe Saunders, but I'm picking the upset. I'm picking Lemieux to cause the upset. I think that this is the first time Saunders in his whole career is fighting a guy who hits as hard as Lemieux, and I think that people are overlooking the fact that Saunders does get caught in fights, and people also do overlook the fact that Saunders does hold his feet in the second half of a fight. And if this fight gets into the second half of the fight and Lemieux hasn't been buzzed or seriously hurt, then I think Lemieux can come on and he can stop Saunders. I really do. I really do. I'm not wholly convinced in this whole Dominic Ingle has changed Saunders' career in one fight. I'm just not. And at the highest level, Saunders still has to prove it to me that when somebody really puts it on him, that he can respond. And this is a guy that can really punch. So, and in Canada as well, I don't know. You know, I'm leaning with Lemieux in this one. And I'd like to see Billy Joe Saunders do it just because I'd like to see him fight Golovkin, but I ain't so sure.
Hmm.
I'm not so sure. Which is a different opinion, but there you go.
Realist. Well, this has been a night of the old men, huh? Salido, Rigo, this has been a night of the old men. You know, Klitschko, boy, these old men gotta get out the game.
Tonight has been
Kodo, these old
December,
men gotta get the game, baby.
12-9, 12-9, 17. Yeah, 12-9-17. The night of upsets.
Yes, and also the world of somebody said it over Facebook. The world of the sea level fighters winning. Ali, people didn't think Ali would have beaten Cotto. People didn't think Truax was going to beat DeGale. So could we have another upset next weekend?
We could, but like I said, if Saunders fights smart, on paper he should win. I'm going with that, just because I want to see Jacobs get in the ring, call him out, and then I want to see Jacobs knock his head off.
Oh God!
Because Jacobs, he will be in the building, so
people
I would like to go in there,
see,
call him out, and then proceed to knock his head off.
See, your motivation to see Saunders win is to see him get damaged by somebody else.
Pretty much. Plus, I just think he's just an overall, on paper, better fighter. But let's just see what he does after this, because he loves to call everybody out. I want to see what happens when someone get in his face and call him out. How will he react?
Interesting, very interesting, guys. Thank you all so much, Eugene, Michael, Bo, for being a champion and coming in the room, even though Rigo retired on the stool.
No. He did not retire. There's more substance here. Let's not twist it. Let's not be nice about it. Let's call it what the fuck it is. He did not retire. He quit. No excuses. I don't hear nothing about age. I don't hear nothing about. He asked for this fight. He knew what he was getting into. No excuses.
I hope you feel the same way when Ortiz fights Wilder. I can't wait for the fight to be made, and I can't wait to hear your opinions afterwards.
No, listen, stop.
You know what?
Before that,
I want to know.
Dorticos versus Gassiev is already scheduled, okay? And we're gonna have a debate again about that before that.
Oh, you've been called out again.
What'd he say?
He basically called you out for a debate on Dorticos and Gassiev.
Oh yeah. I'll do that one because that's actually going to be a good debate because I could actually see Gassiev winning that fight, but I could see Dorticos winning that fight too. So I wouldn't mind that debate. But what I was finna say. God damn, I'm getting old. I forgot what I was gonna say.
By the way, so we will BWTM. It's 1-0 to BWTM. Do we take that win then, Bo? No excuses.
Oh yeah, you talking about Luis Ortiz and Wilder?
Yes, we're talking about Luis Ortiz and Wilder.
Yeah,
but we'll take.
We're not
wait,
gonna.
wait. Before we get to that point, we take the 1-0 up. Yeah. BWTM Sports 1. Truth and Facts About Boxing 0.
How you figure that?
Because it was a debate between BWTM Sports, Eugene, and yourself.
Yeah,
so,
and that was the debate. The fight is separate from the debate. What are you talking about?
Well, I would say that we got the win with that. I would say that was a win for us.
So you saying because the fighter lost, I lose the debate?
Well, I think so. Would you not say that?
Oh, my bad. This must be that WBA shit.
Mike on here, the voice of reason.
Bo could win the debate, but still be ticked off at the result of the fight. There is a little bit of a difference.
Well,
and consider the fact I put up more of a fight in my debate than Rigo did tonight, I definitely should get some credit.
So debate is just a debate, but the fight, that's just a different outcome. He could make an argument and make a very, very valid argument that seems plausible and reasonable and win, but you know, it doesn't have any real persuade on the actual fight and what goes down in the ring because he has no control over that.
So where do we? So how does the debate end? It just ends in a draw, and that be that. There's no end result, Mike.
Just judge the debate on the debate itself.
Right. Well, we have to make this into a table. It's just moving forward.
So yeah, debate to me is what it is. It's just a debate.
Okay.
Just an argument on. It's just giving their perspective on a fight. The outcome of the fight, you know. Yeah.
Well, in that case, then we need to debate with a prediction the prediction league next to it afterwards to make it even more entertaining. Make the stakes higher.
Maybe.
Bo?
Make the stakes higher?
Absolutely. So the next fight is actually for a debate and a prediction, and the prediction counts or something.
We can work something out.
What was that? I didn't quite hear you.
And we can work something out. We can talk, but I'm telling you, I'm not gonna. If you try to make a debate between
No. Hold on. I'm not hearing it clearly. Is that a yes from you?
About what?
That we do a debate. When the debate, and there's a prediction table of it afterwards.
Oh, a prediction tape after the debate?
Yeah, obviously you have your debate, you make a prediction, and then afterwards
we'd have to talk because I got to see what my split is going to be, and got to talk to my promoter, and they might be. we'll talk, but
I thought you were your promoter. I thought you were the man behind Truth and Facts About Boxing.
Oh yeah, I'm the man behind, but I have a board I got to answer to.
I'm the promoter for Eugene.
Oh, you okay? Then we got to talk. The fights aren't made on social media. Remember that talk meeting? I thought you did that, baby.
We're all around the table. Mike is here as the moderator. We're all around the table at the moment, so we can have the discussion around the table now. Like,
No,
Grown men.
I'm not gonna make no decisions at midnight. These are not the hours you make decisions, man. You make decisions between 9 and 5. Them business hours, baby.
Well, at the moment, it's morning for us in the UK. So, you know.
Yeah, that's UK. But if you think I'm
seeming you're on the Champions channel, I would have thought you're on the Champions channel. So.
Ortiz and Wilder, because I don't trust that fight to actually get made and go through.
You don't think the fight will go through?
I don't trust it at this point. I believe when I see Ortiz walking down the aisle.
Okay, but Garcia Doctius would be a good fight then, and we could start with that off then for the new year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mike, we got you all that one.
It just depends now because my work schedule fluctuates. So
whenever you're available,
if I can fit it around my work schedule, sure.
Great. So we'll fit it around your work schedule.
Yeah.
The Great Debate Part 2. Guys, thank you all so much. Eugene, Michael, Bo. Before we finish, where can we catch you, Michael?
Pound for Pound Boxing Report. Here on YouTube. Podcast, blog, discussing all things boxing. If you want to check me out personally, you can check me out on Twitter. Brother JR at Brother JR76. You want to check out all things regarding Pound for Pound Boxing Report. The blog page is the place to go to. P4P Boxing Report.wordpress.com. You check the rather page, links to the pages and channels, Facebook, G plus, YouTube, Tumblr, Twitter. Also links to where to listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, Player FM over in the UK, and on Mixcloud.
Fantastic stuff, Michael. Bo?
I'm actually scared to tell people they can find me at now. What's been going on around here? But yeah, Truth and Facts About Boxing. You can also Truth and Facts About Boxing is associated with Three Kings Boxing and is sponsored all by the movement. You can find me on Twitter at capital T _ capital F for FactBox1. You can also find me on Truth _ FactBox1. And I don't know if Mike, if I'm still invited, you can catch me on Mike's Pound for Pound.
No, you invited, man. You invited. No problem with that.
I'm gonna say it now. I know Scorsese is gonna be in attendance, so I will be ready to take my beating. Because I know he's gonna have one waiting on me. I'll take it proudly. But yeah, right here on Bwtm TV, and wherever they talking boxing, Eastwick, we live East League boxing. Wherever they talking boxing, regardless of what happens, this has been a hell of a year in the sport of boxing.
Absolutely.
And Vasily Lomachenko should get 100% credit. And I also want to say that Eric Suckling is in a coma. He's a former fighter.
Yes.
Was in a coma. Pray for his family. I hope he turns out to be all right. And this is the reason why we say to you guys when we actually go out for fighters to get better paid. This is the reason why, because guys like Young Cat in a coma, we seen Orlando Sligo, 30-something years old, fighting. These guys are fighting for their lives. So, respect these guys.
It's only a couple of weeks ago I was talking to Skoglund live on the channel on Bwtm Sports, and he was talking about his hopes of fighting Rocky Fielding and the O2 card against Rocky Fielding, the O2 card, the same card of David Haye and Tony Bellew. I'm so glad that fight never happened now. And Skoglund, is he is medically induced coma. We just hope that he has a healthy and speedy recovery to him and his family. Our prayers and best wishes are for him and his family. Thank you all so much, guys. Much appreciated. Finally, as for Bwtm Sports, you can catch us on Facebook, Bwtm Sports. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and staying up for as long as you have. We've had the Box Nation card tonight. We've covered the whole Box Nation card. We've covered tonight's fight with Lomachenko and Rigondeaux. It wasn't the fight of the year that we wanted, but nonetheless, Vasily Lomachenko wins handily, wins well, and moves on. As for Rigondeaux, well, many people think he should retire now.
He says he'll come back. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you all, guys. It's been a great night. Thanks again. Good night.